There's a level of self-control that makes people stare at you with unease. And today, you're going to learn exactly how to reach that level. You've surely met that one person who never seems to slip, who wakes up at the same hour every single day, repeats the same routine, and refuses to slow down. While everyone else quits by week 3, they keep going. While others invent excuses, they show up. And you know what people whisper about them? There's something off about that. In Japan, Zen monks developed an ancient discipline that creates this exact kind of terrifying reliability. They call it Gyoji, the practice that sustains itself. And once you understand its mechanics, breaking a commitment will feel unnatural. But there's a condition. This method demands you to destroy a version of yourself you didn't even know was alive. Before I explain how it works, subscribe, drop a like, and comment the habit you want to build. It shows me you're genuinely ready to change. Let's begin. The story you're about to hear happened to a guy named Rafael, a programmer, smart, successful, and completely incapable of sticking to a habit longer than 2 weeks. Gym? Gone after 2 months. Meditation? A week, then forgotten. Reading? He'd buy a book, skim a few pages, then abandon it. His cycle never changed. Monday, unstoppable motivation. Wednesday, first excuses. Friday, total collapse. Sunday, promises for the next week. He tried apps, reward systems, accountability buddies. Nothing worked because he was fighting something invisible, the design of his own brain. Until the day he discovered why Zen monks can meditate daily for centuries without failing once. And no, it's not about willpower. It's something far deeper and far more unsettling. In Zen monasteries, there's a principle that looks simple but rewires everything. Gyoji, continuous practice with 0 pauses, no breaks, no exceptions. Since the year 1200, every single morning at 3:30 a.m., a bell rings at a Heiji temple. And since 1200, every single morning, the monks rise. Not 3:25, not 3:35, exactly at 3:30. Here's something that never happens. No monk lies in bed wondering, should I skip today? That question doesn't exist in their minds. Why? Because they understand something you don't. Yet, your brain sorts every commitment into 2 categories: reversible or irreversible. Reversible commitments invite negotiation. Irreversible ones simply occur. When a monk takes vows in front of the entire community, he isn't promising. He's altering his identity. He isn't trying to meditate. He becomes a person who meditates. The group witnesses it, the identity shifts, and the negotiation ends. A Harvard neuroscientist who has studied habits for 15 years found something remarkable. When you announce a behavior publicly, your primal brain interprets failure as a threat to survival. Losing status once meant death. Your brain still behaves that way. So Rafael stopped keeping private goals and began making public declarations. He wrote, "I am a person who meditates 20 minutes every day at 5 a.m. for 90 consecutive days." He signed it, posted it, told everyone he knew. His girlfriend said he was being dramatic. His co-workers mocked him. Perfect. Their eyes became pressure. Every morning he wanted to quit. He imagined explaining to everyone that he broke his own word again. On day 3, the internal battle began. Alarm at 5 a.m., his mind whispered, "You're exhausted. This isn't healthy. One day won't matter." But something had changed. The humiliation of quitting publicly felt worse than the discomfort of continuing. So he got up. Yet the war was just beginning. Even with social pressure, Rafael still faced another enemy, his biology. His body didn't care about his reputation. It wanted rest. The public promise killed the mental negotiation, but not the physical resistance. That's when he discovered the monk's second law. Non-negotiable hours. Every day you waste precious mental fuel debating one stupid question. When should I do this? Morning? Evening? Now? Later? That decision burns glucose your brain needs for the task itself. You drain your energy choosing when to act instead of acting. Rafael picked 5 a.m., not because he liked the morning. He hated it. He chose that hour because nothing in the world could interfere. No messages, no noise, no excuses. The timing wasn't about being ideal. It was about removing escape routes. The first week was torture. His body revolted every morning. Normal. The body operates on patterns, and he was forcing a new structure. But by week 2, something shifted. He woke up minutes before the alarm. On day 14, he stood up before he even consciously realized what he was doing. No thinking, just motion. But he still had a hidden flaw. Although his schedule was fixed, the activity wasn't. Some mornings he meditated, others he read. Sometimes he exercised. His brain found a loophole, not arguing about when, but what. The time was consistent, but the practice was chaos. So he applied another uncomfortable Zen rule. Identical daily forms, no variety, no creativity, just repetition. Same sequence every day. 20 push-ups, 10 minutes meditation, 10 minutes reading. Same order, same duration. His own 90-day ango. His friends mocked him. His girlfriend said he was becoming boring. They didn't understand. Boring was exactly the intention. Week 3, his mind began screaming for novelty. Week 4, something broke. Not his discipline, but his inner resistance. By week 6, he found himself halfway through the routine before noticing he'd begun. The practice had started running itself. People misunderstand consistency. It isn't about endless willpower. It's about repeating something until willpower becomes irrelevant. Behavior becomes choreography. An MIT researcher who has spent over a decade studying habit automation explains. Repeat an action in the same context for around 66 days, and the basal ganglia take control. The behavior becomes automatic. You stop choosing. You simply do. Then life hit him. Flu on day 35, work trip on day 40. These are the points where old patterns return. Sick day becomes skip day. Travel becomes exception. This is where you used to collapse, where most people collapse, because perfect conditions vanish. Zen master Dogen understood this centuries ago. Practice must continue without even a moment of interruption, because in the space of a single break, your old self comes rushing back. What saved Rafael was realizing consistency doesn't require perfection, only momentum. The lie that ruins everything is, if I can't do it perfectly, I'll wait. That thinking creates gaps, and gaps destroy identity. Elite athletes rest, but their rest still supports progress. Resting because you choose to is strategy. Resting because you don't feel like it is surrender. A river may shrink during drought, but it never stops flowing. When it stops, it ceases to be a river. It becomes a story of where water once existed. Your practice is the same. The moment you stop, you're no longer practicing. You're someone who used to. Day 40. Airport at dawn. No gym, no time. Rafael did push-ups in a bathroom stall. People stared. Good. He meditated in the Uber, read during the flight. None of it was perfect. All of it maintained the chain. That is Gyoji, a practice that sustains itself. People began noticing. Co-workers said he seemed different. Friends said he was obsessive. One person even claimed his discipline looked unhealthy. When people say that, It's a sign you're finally separating yourself from the masses. Normal people get normal results. Your goal isn't normal. Your goal is unshakable. But there was one last layer. Unpredictable chaos. A sick child, a broken car, a last-minute meeting. These destroy consistency because you haven't decided beforehand how to respond. Under stress, you pick the easiest option. Monasteries survive storms, wars, disasters, yet the practice never stops. Why? Because the decision is already made. If the meditation hall floods, they sit elsewhere. No discussions, no debates, just response. So Rafael wrote down every obstacle that had derailed him before and designed solutions in advance. Rain, push-ups in the garage, guests, silent routine in the bathroom, hangover, minimal version, 2 push-ups, 1-minute meditation, 1 page of reading. Not perfect, but continuous. The brain stops wasting energies deciding and simply executes. A Yale researcher studying decision fatigue for 20 years discovered, when you predetermine your reactions, your willpower is saved for action instead of choice. By day 70, Rafael's routine was pure instinct. Some mornings he'd finish without remembering starting. His girlfriend's mother visited. He still exercised in the bathroom at 5 a.m. because the script was already written. Day 90 arrived. He completed his ango, but something deeper had taken root. His identity had mutated. Friends told him, "Your consistency is scary." And he said exactly what he should have said. Good. Because when your discipline makes others uncomfortable, you've entered the level where real transformation happens. Your existence forces others to confront their own excuses. That's why they call you extreme. That's why they preach balance. They need you to slow down so they can stay comfortable. But you're not doing this for them. You're doing it because you've finally discovered the truth. Real consistency isn't doing something daily. It's becoming someone who can't live any other way. When you apply the Gyoji System, public declaration, fixed timing, unchanging structure, and pre-solved obstacles, you don't just build habits. You rebuild identity. You stop being a person who tries and become a person who simply is. And when people ask, how does he do it? The answer will be simple. He doesn't do it. He is it. The real question, are you ready for this shift? Because this isn't about discipline. It's about death and rebirth. The death of your unreliable self. The birth of your untouchable self. Gyoji doesn't make you better. It makes you different. Unrecognizable to your old identity. And when people whisper, that's not normal, you'll know you've arrived. If this message changed how you see discipline, hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and tell me your public declaration. What habit will you forge through the Gyoji method? And remember, the kind of consistency that scares others is the only kind worth having.